Welcome to River City Plus, the show after the show. We like to call it the River City After Party. And today we have some positively amazing guests. I have Heather and I have pickle juice and patty cakes.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to let you make the introduction to these star-studded pups. They have made their debut in literary adventures. They've also become really amazing goodwill ambassadors in the community. But Heather, you brought them in today so that people could just learn to understand what they're doing and how they're bringing just some happiness and joy to a lot of people around the 904.
Yes. So this one, the blue one, is pickle juice, and this one right here is patty cakes. And they are French bulldogs. They will actually be 2 years old next Tuesday. So happy early birthday to my babies. They're both the same age. They came from the same litter. They had a lot of complications when they were younger. They had pneumonia. We didn't know if they were going to make it. Patty cakes one night turned blue. We had to rush her to the ER. But they are both good and healthy. And now I have the opportunity to bring patty cakes to a lot of author readings that I do. She gets to be very engaged with the kids, and the kids absolutely love her.
I'm sure. They're both very, very lovable. Now, how did you make the transition from puppy mom to author? Was writing something that you did before you became a dog mom, or was this something that came along with your adventures together?
So I've always loved writing. It's always been one of my favorite things. I've done it since I was a little girl. I used to take the papers and staple them together and illustrate my own stories and write my own stories as well. And my fiance actually came home with a mat that had like a cartoon image of both of them. And when I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, I can start a children's book series on them. Because, like I said, I've always wanted to write, just didn't know what to write about. So that is what I did.
And it's so fun that they have these adventures together. So what themes do you usually draw on for your books? Like, for example, here we have the ice cream adventure. I love seeing them both illustrated here. I think they're depicted very well. I could see these two really taking down a whole Haagen-Dazs bar here. So what do you typically draw on in terms of inspiration for their stories and adventures?
So I have an amazing illustrator. His name is Hannah Frohan, and I found him, and now he's stuck with me. We've done 2 books together. So this book is actually a rhyming book to teach kids to always be kind, to never give up. And that's something that I think is very important nowadays. And then my second book, Pickle Juice and Patty Cake Space Adventure, which just came out a couple weeks ago, that actually has my future stepdaughter on the cover. She's 7 years old, and it's to teach kids to accept differences in others. And that one actually has questions in the back of the book, and it also has special pictures from Mosh, from the Museum of Science and History here in Jacksonville. So they let us do a photo shoot here, and it was so exciting. Peyton and the puppies had a blast.
That is awesome. So I love the fact that you are not only putting a girl in space, which we love to see. I think we're continuously having that conversation about getting more women involved in STEAM and STEM. So putting it right here on the cover of the book and having Patty and Pickle Juice there to be part of the adventure is really special. So let's take a look at some of these questions. How did you come up with these? A few of them are, what do you like about your friends? What are some things you have in common? So, not just reading a child a book and putting them to bed, but having a discussion that comes from almost not their parents, because sometimes when you try to spark that conversation with your kids, they don't want to talk to you. You're their parent. They already know everything because they're kids. Like, I don't have kids, but I remember being like that, where I'm like, are we doing this right now? Is this what we're doing? But this sparks organic conversation from the book. So how did you come up with this set of questions?
So I had a tragedy happen in my family in April. My nephew was murdered here in Jacksonville, and it was a pure hate crime. And I was already in the works of making this book, but I really wanted kids to understand, like, why it's so important to accept differences in others. And starting it at such a young age to me is so important, because there's a disconnect that's going on with these kids, that they're growing up and they're seeing all this stuff on social media, and it's just so much hate, and there's no reason for it.
And it truly is something that's learned, because when we do see young kids on the playground or something like that, they're not bothered by color or what we look like or, skin type, anything like that. But it is something that is developed typically out of fear of the unknown or something that we're taught. So why do you think it is so important to have these conversations at a young age, and for parents that maybe have a challenge approaching it, whether that's caring about people of a different sexuality or religion? Like, how do you approach topics like that, but at a young, attainable age?
So with the questions, because first I ask what it means to be kind and what it means to be.
You two,
guys wanna
I know,
talk
I know,
too?
you two, you guys want to talk. They're like, we like everybody, and we think you should too. Love that for y'all.
First, I ask like what it means to be kind and what it means to be polite. So to start the initial conversation, and then to say, okay, what do you like about yourself? What are some things that you like about your friends? And then what are some differences? And then they tell me some differences because I actually did this in the Humane Society a few weeks ago. We had this conversation and it was so amazing the answers that I was getting from these kids. And it really makes them think like, okay, what do I like about myself? What do I like about my friends? Why is it so important to be different? It's awesome to be unique. It's awesome to be an individual and to show your uniqueness because you don't want to be like everyone else. That's no fun.
Right. Right.
So.
I mean, it is so special, like you said, to be unique and to be an individual. I love her right there with her book and instilling that in her, that she is so beautifully and wonderfully made and exactly how she is. And you also took this a step further in not only touching local lives, but extending this internationally.
Yes.
Can you tell us about how you bridged that gap? I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like you've done so much with children's books and two puppies.
So I actually found this man right here. He runs an art school in Uganda in Africa. And so he actually found me and he didn't ask for anything at all. I just went through his page and I was looking and something just put it on my heart to reach out to him. And I was like, hey, can I send you 50 books? And he was like, what? Yes, absolutely. So I sent him 50 books and I asked him for their names. And this part was funny because, girl, I didn't realize how intense their names are. So I was like, please send me a list of names and I'm going to write the books out to each child, which I did. But they were quite extensive names for sure. They're not. There's an example.
Yeah. But I mean, wouldn't also great practice
But
for you to be able to
it
show
was
other
amazing.
people
No,
that,
it was absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. And seeing the smiles on those kids' faces, and I got to actually talk to them on FaceTime. So, well, Instagram, I guess it's not
Yeah,
FaceTime, but it was very cool. And they were all so thankful and so grateful. And it's just amazing how one simple act can make such a difference in their lives. So.
I think it's so unique that you have obviously taken a wonderful relationship, not only with your animals, but also you're mirroring this and helping other people understand not only to be kind to others, but I'm also hoping that this will channel an understanding of animals too, because unfortunately we do still see so much animal cruelty,
We do.
often from
Yeah.
young people, because it is kind of like a power thing, and it's because
Yeah.
they're suffering from depression, from undiagnosed mental illness. So
Yeah.
do you feel like this is kind of a two-prong approach to just a better
I
understanding?
do. I really do. And I've been noticing too, like being out in the community, there's a lot of kids that are scared of animals. There's a lot of kids that are scared of dogs. And I've asked you, like, oh, did your child get bit when they were younger? Did something happen? No, nothing happened. They're just naturally scared of them. So something I do with Patty is I'll hold her and they'll come to me instead of me
Right.
coming to them. And then they realize, like, she's not going to harm you at all.
Right.
If anything, she's just going to lick you to death.
Right.
And I've had a couple kids that have actually, like, come up to her and that were not did not like dogs before. So, and I think it helps that they're so tiny too.
Right. Well, and it's good too, because
Yeah.
they're learning like pet boundaries and things like that.
Yeah.
Because not all dogs are going to be like Patty and Pickle Juice. We know that, but helping them understand the dynamic and being aware of the owner and communicating with people. Oh, can I pet your dog? Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
So again, communicating boundaries on post.
What's up, baby?
I'm so sorry. Here, you guys can talk. What do you have to say? I know. Buy the book. We got it. So I know we've just got a couple more minutes, but you're doing so much and you're wearing so many hats. So I'm incredibly proud of you, first of all, for sharing your story, and thank you for being vulnerable with us and open with us. I'm so proud of you just as a person, that you've taken such a tragedy and that you've decided to bring light into it. I hope that you and your family can continue to heal, and that these two fur babies will help you on that journey. I hope that we can help you here, but how can other people help you and support you? What can we do for you?
So the biggest thing would be great. So my book is available on www.heathermariebooks.com. It's also available on Amazon as well. But honestly, I am out in the community almost every weekend, whether it's at Riverside Arts Market or the library or bookstores. And if you follow me on Instagram, Pickle Juice and Patty Cakes, I have like where I'm going to be. And I have something exciting coming up September 15th. I'm going to be at Pete's, Sweet Pete's Candy
We love Sweet
Factory.
Pete's. Vaughn loves Sweet Pete's, right?
And we have two story times, one for the younger kids, 2 to 4, and we're going to do a candy making class. We're going to do an arts and crafts and a story time. Then we have one for the older kids, 5 to 10 years old, and it's for the space adventure. We're going to do another candy making class and an arts and crafts. So you can sign up for that on their website.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I love all the creativity that are going into these activations. So again, please keep up with her. As Rance would say, support your locals. People, come on, and as I would say, love on the fur babies. And while you're at it, go adopt a puppy this weekend. It's always going to be my PSA. Buy a book and go adopt a dog. So thank you so much for joining us here for River City Plus.
Thank you for having us.
You are always welcome here, both of you too. So I will make sure that you have all the links to get to Heather and her books that are coming to you, and also those great classes that you can go and take your kids to on rivercitylivetv.com. That's going to wrap it up here for River City Plus. We'll see you tomorrow morning for River City Live.